Hey guys, it is Mike, and it is time for me to get back into horror. This has been a difficult year for me between having COVID twice, once at the very beginning of the year, really messed with my memory and all of that good stuff. And then after being vaccinated, I got it again the week of my birthday in September. So, still struggling with after effects from that, breathing and memory issues, but I have been watching a lot of movies, mainly cheesy horror movies. But this particular video, I'm going to talk about my top 10 favorite movies that I saw this year. And then I'll probably throw in my bottom five. I did not get to see a lot of movies, mainly because I was sick and really, truthfully, because of my memory issues, my attention span kind of went bloop. So, it was hard for me to actually stick with the movie. But I did get to go to the theater to see some, and I did stream some, and I did watch some on on pay per view and all of that good stuff. So I'm going to start with my top 10, and what I want to do first is talk about my four honorable mentions. I didn't see enough to have five because really I only saw about 19 movies, I guess, altogether, other than watching horror movies during Halloween. Um, this is Hermione. She's a pain in my butt. Um, so basically, I'm going to tell you about the four that I couldn't really put in my bottom five, and a couple that I really like, and then the rest will be the ones that I don't particularly care for. So first off, my first honorable mention is *Malignant*. I like that movie. I was surprised that I liked that movie because I really had no idea what I was going into, but I found it to be an interesting story. It did not bore me at all. So that would be one of my honorable mentions. Another one of my honorable mentions is Dune. I saw the original Dune when it came out in the theaters, and I did not particularly care for that. I am not the biggest science fiction person in the world, so um, unless it's an alien or something like that, I really don't particularly care for a lot of the science fiction. But and I did not care for the original Dune. It was all right. I never did own it. I've only watched it maybe once since the original airing back in the theaters. So, but this one was good. The cinematography, the effects, everything was really good. I thought the acting was really good. Really enjoyed the remake of Dune, or this continuation or whatever it is. The next one I want to talk about was one that I actually watched on I can't remember. I streamed it from somewhere, maybe Paramount. I don't know. Anywho, it is The Eyes of Tammy Faye. Now, I am not real big into televangelists. Most of them are snakes. I know that. They're all about lining their pockets and putting money in walls and churches and all that craziness. But I did enjoy this movie because Tammy Faye was one of those characters in real life that was just kind of interesting. And if you don't know who Tammy Faye is, her full name was Tammy Faye Baker. She was married to Jim Baker, who was a televangelist who got in a lot of trouble and just was a real pain, a real jerk, nasty man. Still is a nasty man. He's still alive, but she did die. And this was an interesting look at her life. Not a documentary, but I found out some things about her that I didn't already know. I did read her book. So yeah, I love that movie, and actually, it could have been in my top five or my top 10, but it's just not quite. And then this one, the fourth one and the last one I'm going to talk about as far as honorable mentions. Um, I'm on the fence with this one. It's Quiet Place 2. I liked Quiet Place 1 the first time or two I watched it. Maybe because I like John Krasinski. I think he's interesting, just in general, and of course all The all the actors actually were very good in this one, and it's a creature feature, so I love creature features. But as I watched Quiet Place 2, even though the creatures were in it, and they were, a little more visual, I guess, no, or a little more visible. In this one, I just didn't. It didn't grab me at all. Not that I hated it, I liked it. I thought everybody did a nice job, but it just was a little flat for me. So those are my four honorable mentions. And then the 10 movies that I enjoyed the most. Now, I am not a superhero Marvel. It's not my thing. I'll watch them. I don't have a problem with them. I used to like Superman. I've seen a few of those movies, and I've seen a few of the Spider-Mans, and they're fine. They're just not any. They're not me. So I don't want to offend anybody, but I didn't see any of them. But saying that to say, there are 10 movies that I saw that I enjoyed quite a bit. Some you may like, some you may not. Some that I was a little bit disappointed in because they weren't the movies I was hoping they would be, but still, I didn't hate them. So, in no particular order, I'm going to start with Pig, starring Nicolas Cage. I was really very surprised at how much I did like this movie. I did not see it at the theater. I own it, and I've watched it a couple times, three times maybe. Um, yeah, I was blown away by Nicolas Cage. I used to love him back in the old days. When he started with Valley Girl, I immediately thought he was a great actor, and then he did so many other fun movies and good movies, and then he went kind of rogue, and almost like Bruce Willis, just took any role, no matter how bad or good, and overacted like nobody's business. But this movie was good. It was dramatic. It's not a horror movie. It's more of a, who stole his pig movie, because that's what happens. He has this pig that finds truffles, and truffles are very expensive, hoity-toity food, and he sells them to restaurants. Well, somebody steals his pig. So the movie centers around him and this young man looking for his pig, and it's really kind of it's touching at times and interesting. But yeah, Pig, very good. All right, the next one I'm going to talk about is Respect. That was another movie I watched on streaming. This is the story of Aretha Franklin. Excellent movie. I really enjoyed this. I was never the biggest Aretha Franklin fan. I loved her early stuff, but as she grew older, she just kind of got, I don't know, a little too growly for me, I guess is the word. I loved some of her 80s stuff, but I liked her. I just got to the point where when she was on live anywhere, I just really didn't watch it anymore because I don't know, she was just kind of growly, but the movie was excellent. And it stars, I can't remember her name. Sorry, I have these little brain lapses. She was one of the girls from American Idol. She was in Dreamgirls. She's done quite a bit. She's an amazing singer. But yeah, I enjoyed that one. Let's. I'm gonna go with the next one. I liked the Wrong Turn movie. I know a lot of horror fans did not like the Wrong Turn movie. I don't care. I could not stand the sequels of Wrong Turn. I liked one. I loved one. It's one of my favorite movies. I liked two. Three was fine. After that, I don't care if I watch any of the other sequels. I've tried. I've watched them all. I own them all. But so the fact that this was a completely different spin on Wrong Turn, kind of a prequel, I guess it was supposed to be. I really enjoyed it. I thought that the storyline was interesting. The fact that they poked people's eyes out and stuck them in a cave, that was horrible. But yeah, fun movie. I enjoyed the kills in that one, and I just overall enjoyed that movie. Was it remarkable? No. Did I love it? No, I liked it. Um, but it's not going to be in my bottom list, and it's one that I own and I enjoy to watch. So, all right, let's go on to No Time to Die. I have not watched a James Bond movie in a while. And one afternoon I was bored and I just thought, I'm going to go to the theater. I just need to be somewhere that's big and open and noisy. So, and there was almost nobody in the theater. And I really did enjoy this Daniel Craig movie. I thought he was great as always. I do like him as an actor. And overall, it was a fun little ride. Probably, I used to watch Bond movies off and on. I like the Pierce Brosnan years. But I haven't really seen a lot of the Daniel Craig ones. But this makes me want to go buy some of the other ones. Maybe start a collection. I don't have any of his movies, any of the movies. So, all right, next on my list, I am going to Free Guy. That was hilarious. Um, Pointless, kind of, I guess. It was just mindless fun. But I love Ryan Reynolds. I love everybody that was in the movie. It was just silly fun. And I'm not a big comedy fan. Hard to believe, right? But yeah, comedies, if they're too slapsticky or too, how should I say this, too Pauly Shore-ish or too, who's the other, Adam Sandler-ish? I can't do it. Um, not to say that Adam Sandler hasn't done movies that I like, because he has, but I those just are not my kind of movies. So it's kind of funny that I have this one in my list. All right, another movie I loved was West Side Story. I once again saw the original one, not when it came out, but I've seen that one many times. I've been in the play whenever I used to do plays in community theater. So it's always been one of my favorites, and they had Rita Moreno was actually in this one as well, which was an added bonus. But the cast was really good. It was fun. As always, I really just enjoy the story of West Side Story. All right, the next one I'm going to talk about is Cruella. This was different than what I thought it was going to be. I thought a live version of 101 Dalmatians, but really it was kind of an interesting story, and everybody in it was good. Oh God, her name just went right out of my head. But I loved the woman who played Cruella. She is so good in just about everything she does. So yeah, one of definitely deserves a spot in my top 10. Then I'm going to go with Halloween Kills. This was the one that disappointed me the most. I'm not going to say that I hated. I did hate the ending. Completely hated the ending. Pissed me off, as a matter of fact, the first time I saw it at the theater. I kind of was like, And yes, Jamie Lee was underused. I get it. But at the same time, it's a transition movie. So we had Halloween, the first one, 18. This is the bridge between this and the last of the trilogy. So this was going to always be a bridge movie. This was coming right off the same night. Jamie Lee, she'd been beat up pretty bad by old Michael, and was in the hospital. So, okay, I get it. Yes, she was underused. She was underused in part 2 as well, but the original part 2. But it was still a decent movie. I really kind of hated that they killed off Tommy, and they killed off the nurse, just like, boom, she was gone. Kind of disappointed in those aspects. Do I have like Tommy will always be a part of Halloween for me, because the original Halloween, it was Tommy and Lindsay and Laurie. They were kind of up against the big bad boogeyman. And the fact that they killed Tommy off kind of bummed me out. The fact that they killed Laurie's daughter off really pissed me off. So, but I have watched it a couple times since, and if I cut the ending off, which I do, if I don't really let the ending persuade me too much, then it's actually an okay movie. It is a bridge movie, so I wasn't expecting it to be like a showcase for Laurie. I think that's going to be Halloween Ends. So yeah, it was fine. it definitely made my top 10 of the movies that I saw. All right, and then let's talk about King Kong versus Godzilla. I loved it. That was the first movie I saw in the theater in forever. It was big, it was loud. Godzilla was awesome. It was kind of sweet at times, which was kind of strange, seeing Godzilla and King Kong fight for each other rather than against each other. Yeah, I enjoyed it. I loved every minute of it. I don't care if you like the actors in it or not. Doesn't matter. It was just a fun monster movie, and that's my jam. And I don't think I have. Sorry, I'm looking at my list. My number one, probably for the entire year, was Ghostbusters Afterlife. I was so surprised. I was never a fan of Ghostbusters 2. And the woman one, the one with all the ladies in it, it would have been a great movie if it would have been handled a little bit differently. I didn't think it was as interesting or funny or well developed as the original. Now, Afterlife, on the other hand, I thought was on par with the first one. Not as good as the first one. Nothing will ever be as good as the original Ghostbusters, but I loved every minute of this movie. It was fun. It was a little bit gross. It was a little bit silly. It had Annie Potts in it. What else could I ask for? So, yeah. So those are my top 10. No Time to Die, Halloween Kills, Wrong Turn, Ghostbusters Afterlife, King Kong, Free Guy, Cruella, West Side Story, and Pig. Then the last five that I actually watched that were new, Spiral. I didn't care for that movie at all. But I am not the biggest Saw fan either. And this was Saw with no bite. It was just, I don't know. I didn't get it, and I liked the actor. Um, I know it's not Kevin Hart. Sorry, my brain. But, I like him normally. Chris Rock, yeah, I like him normally, but I didn't care for this. That new Space Jam movie was awful. I couldn't even sit. I used to show Space Jam to my kids whenever I was a teacher. We would earn free Fridays, which basically meant they got an hour of free time at the end of the day. And I would bring them popcorn and chips and soda and juice, and we just have a big free Friday if they earn the points. And they loved Space Jam, and I loved Space Jam. I thought it was a fun movie. This was a big old disappointment. Another movie that I wanted to like, and I'm not sure that I don't really hate it. It was just too CGI for me, and that was Clifford, the Big Red Dog. I wanted to like it because that was another one of my favorite stories to read my kids. Picture books. I know they were sixth graders, but they enjoyed picture books. So the other one that I did see, and I'm not into these movies at all, so I don't know why I saw this one, was Raccoon City, the Resident Evil movie. I think I watched the first one like 1,000 years ago, but and then my last of the bottom movies was In the Heights. I loved the play, but the movie just didn't capture it. It's sort of like the remake of Cats. No, it is nowhere near as bad as Cats, but yeah, it just didn't do anything for me. I definitely didn't even rate an honorable mention for me. So those are my top 10 and my bottom 5 and my 4 honorable mentions of the year. Look for some. I might do a horror top 10 because I did watch a lot of horror. But that is it for this video. Please give me a like, guys. I really appreciate every like that I get. And I promise, if I can keep my brain working, that I will respond to everybody's responses. I've gotten really bad about remembering to do that. So, all right, guys, take care. Be safe. Wear your mask. Bye.